History tells us that the Roman Empire fell in ancient times. History is wrong. Rome did not fade away in silence. It died in a single, deafening roar on a Tuesday morning in 1453. For over 1,000 years, the walls of Constantinople were the shield of God. Emperors believed they were invincible. Knights believed stone was stronger than fire. They were wrong. Imagine the air choking with black sulfur. Imagine the ground shaking with a violence that terrified shepherds 10 miles away. This is not just a battle. This is the precise moment where the medieval world ends and the modern era begins. The weapon is a monster of bronze. The target is the greatest city on earth. And the man pulling the trigger is only 21 years old. Silence is a lie. Welcome to the fall.
Çabuk olun, daha hızlı. Geri çekilin. She's still too hot near the breach.
Pour faster, men! Clear the line!
For 1,000 years, no army had ever breached these walls. They were the shield of an empire, the last monument of Rome. Yet one dawn, thunderous cannons shook the earth, and warships rolled across the land itself. Outnumbered 10 to 1, a desperate city stood against the storm of fire and steel. Would faith preserve the ancient world? Or would a young conqueror shatter it and forge a new age? Constantinople was no ordinary city. Founded by Constantine the Great, it controlled the passage between Europe and Asia. Trade, armies, and destiny flowed through its gates. For centuries, both Christian and Muslim rulers dreamed of possessing it. By the 15th century, the Byzantine Empire was only a shadow of its former glory, reduced to Constantinople and a few scraps of land.
Cannot last much longer.
Its 50,000 citizens lived among memories of Rome's greatness. But to the rising Ottoman Empire, the city was the key to a world empire. Mehmed II, just 21 years old, believed he was destined to take it. Ancient prophecies spoke of a great ruler who would claim the city of Constantine, and Mehmed intended to be that ruler. He prepared with precision, perhaps 80,000 to 100,000 soldiers, infantry, cavalry, archers, and the feared Janissaries. Yet his greatest weapon was technology. A Hungarian engineer named Orban built gigantic cannons, including the Great Bombard, a bronze monster over 8 meters long that fired half-ton stone balls, projectiles capable of crushing a millennium of defenses. For the first time in history, the old world of shield and spear would face the age of gunpowder. Against this, the Byzantines could muster only 7,000 to 8,000 defenders, including 2,000 elite Genoese under Giovanni Giustiniani. Their hope rested on the legendary Theodosian walls, triple fortifications stretching 6 kilometers, which had resisted every enemy, from Huns to Arabs to Crusaders. But cannon fire would test them like never before. When the Ottoman army encamped outside the walls, the plain became a sea of tents and banners. The first cannon shot roared across the land, smashing into the walls and filling the air with dust. The siege had begun. Byzantine life became a brutal rhythm. By day, cannons thundered, tearing stones from the ancient towers. By night, soldiers and civilians rushed to repair the breaches with earth, wood, and rubble. Mehmed launched repeated night assaults. Ladders crashed against the walls as Ottoman infantry climbed into storms of arrows, rocks, and boiling oil. Again and again, they were thrown back. Still, the walls were weakening. Then, a brief moment of hope. A small convoy of Christian ships managed to break through the Ottoman blockade and enter the Golden Horn. Church bells rang across the city. But the supplies were small, and no great army marched to save them. Mehmed responded with one of the boldest maneuvers in military history. If his ships could not break the chain blocking the Golden Horn, he would take them over land. Wooden planks were laid across the hills of Galata. Greased with oil, the path allowed Ottoman ships to be rolled across land on logs. Citizens watching from the walls were stunned. In a single night, dozens of warships appeared inside the harbor, behind the chain meant to keep them out. Panic spread. The Golden Horn defenses were weak, and now the Ottomans controlled both land and sea. At the same time, Mehmed's cannons continued pounding the walls relentlessly. Food dwindled. The defenders were exhausted. Yet Emperor Constantine XI walked the battlements daily, speaking to his men by name, reminding them they were the last guardians of Rome's legacy. His courage held the city together. But time was running out. Ottoman trenches crept closer. Ramps were built. Smaller cannons fired point blank into the walls. Massive assaults struck the city in early May, filling the night with fire, screams, and shattered stone. At one breach, Janissaries advanced step by step, shields raised, chanting as arrows rained down. Giustiniani's mercenaries held the line, pushing ladders back and fighting hand to hand. The walls trembled, but still stood. Meanwhile, inside the Hagia Sophia, thousands prayed for divine intervention. Every rumble of artillery shook the ancient dome. Constantinople was bleeding, but unbroken. At last, Mehmed prepared his final blow, a massive three-phase assault meant to overwhelm the entire city at once.
Keep firing, men!
Before dawn, waves of Ottoman soldiers surged forward. The first were irregular troops, volunteers meant to exhaust the defenders. They died in great numbers. The second wave, regular troops from Anatolia and the Balkans, pressed harder, filling breaches with their fallen as they tried to climb the walls. The defenders fought like men possessed. Then came the third wave, the Janissaries. Disciplined, silent, armored in steel, they advanced toward the main breaches. When they charged, they roared as one. The final battle turned into chaos. Swords clashing, shields shattering, men grappling on narrow walkways. Amid the chaos, Giustiniani was gravely wounded. Carried away bleeding, his withdrawal broke the defenders' morale. At that moment, disaster struck. A small postern door, the Cerco Porta, had been left unguarded. Ottoman soldiers forced their way inside. Almost simultaneously, a massive breach gave way under cannon fire. Janissaries poured into the city. Realizing all was lost, Emperor Constantine XI removed his imperial regalia and charged into the melee as a common soldier. Witnesses claimed he cried, "The city is lost, but I live no longer as emperor." he disappeared into the crush of battle. His body was never found. By mid-morning, Ottoman banners rose above the towers. The gates were thrown open. Mehmed's army surged through the streets. After more than 1,000 years, Constantinople had fallen. The Byzantine Empire, Rome's last remnant, was gone forever. For 3 days, the Ottomans claimed their prize, as was the custom. Churches and palaces were plundered. The cries of the conquered echoed across the city. Finally, Mehmed II entered Constantinople. He dismounted before the Hagia Sophia and ordered it converted into a mosque. History would remember him as Mehmed the Conqueror. Constantinople became the Ottoman capital, soon called Istanbul, the center of an empire stretching across 3 continents. For the Christian world, the shock was immense. If Constantinople could fall,
every 30 seconds.
What city was
Seal
safe?
off the access points and
Calls
double the
for
perimeter
new
guard.
crusades
Do not
came
engage
too
unless
late.
fired upon.
Yet from tragedy came transformation. With eastern trade routes cut off, Europeans sought new paths by sea. Within decades, explorers like Columbus and Vasco da Gama sailed into the unknown, opening the age of discovery. Greek scholars fleeing the fallen city brought ancient manuscripts to Italy, fueling the Renaissance. Thus, the fall of Constantinople was not only the end of an empire, it was the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of a new world shaped by gunpowder, exploration, and global empires rising from the ashes of the old.